We're now ready to learn about networking. Have you heard the phrase, it's who you know? Well, this phrase is very true for getting a job. It is simply who you know. That's how the world works. And networking is your way to find out who you know. Now, networking 50 years ago was a lot more difficult. People didn't have access to the tools that we have today. And we're going to go through some of those tools together and learn about their power and how to use them. The word networking may sound a little intimidating to those of us who are of the engineering type. You know, we usually aren't known for our social skills. And so we think that, the business majors or the finance people, those guys are the ones who network. It's the CEOs and the managers, right? It's not the engineers. Well, no, actually, engineers have to network too. It's extremely important, in fact, but it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. We're going to talk about how to do it so that it's not uncomfortable. One of the main reasons you want to network is because you want to find out what is out there. You want to understand what opportunities there are. And from your standpoint right now, you may have a very limited perspective on the opportunities that are out there. I'm convinced that there's a perfect, so to speak, fit for every single person, that everybody can find a job that fits them really well, that fits their personality, their interests, and their passions, and where they feel like they can contribute in a meaningful way to society. That's the kind of job you want to find, and in order to do that, you're going to have to find out what's out there, and networking is your method of doing that. So how do you find out what's out there? Well, there's a principle called the Kevin Bacon rule. Maybe you've heard of this. The idea is that every actor is connected to Kevin Bacon through what are called degrees of separation. And the special number is 6. That every actor can be tied through 6 degrees of connections or separation from Kevin Bacon. So if an actor acted in a film with him, that's 1 degree of separation. But maybe an actor acted in a film with another actor who then acted in a film with Kevin Bacon, that's 2 degrees of separation. And the game goes that apparently you can tie Kevin Bacon within 6 degrees to every other actor, either current actors or also historical actors. Well, they've run similar mathematics on the population of the world. So let's say we have 6 billion people in the world today. The degrees of separation you are to any other person is on the average somewhere around 6.7. So that means within 7 connections, you are connected basically to every other person in the world. Well, this is a really powerful thought and a powerful principle. It's only powerful though if we can figure out how we're connected to the people that we care most about, to the people who we really want to get in touch with. Now, 50 years ago, like I said, they didn't have the tools that we have today. And so these connections were much more difficult to establish, although they were there. Now, chances are good that you want to find a job within your own country. Your connections within your own country are even shorter than 6.7. Imagine that if it's 6.7 to any other person in the world on average, then the connections to the people in the field that you want to work with, the hiring managers and the people who are making decisions, they're only a few connections away. So the trick now is to figure out how we're connected. And that is done by using a program called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most innovative tools in modern society for finding job opportunities. Now you may think that LinkedIn is just another social platform, which in some respects it is, but it's different in its purpose. The purpose of LinkedIn, now it's only been around for maybe 15 years, the purpose of LinkedIn is to figure out how we are all connected and allows you also to make a quote-unquote web page about yourself or an online resume to allow other people to find you as well. It's a very powerful tool. So whether or not you're into social networking, having a LinkedIn profile is pretty much a must in today's society, and I highly, highly recommend making a profile. It has come back to serve me well. Now, I'm not somebody who's big on social media, but I do spend time on LinkedIn whenever I'm trying to make connections with other companies. When you first set up a profile on LinkedIn, it will ask you if you would like to add some connections, and it will automatically populate some people that it thinks you might know. And this type of a list will show up periodically. In fact, you can click on it every once in a while and it'll show you a new list of people who you might know. I would highly recommend walking through that list and connecting with people, obviously, that you know, first person that you know really well, and then slowly you'll start to grow that network to people who you might not have met, but who you know through other people. The more people that you connect to on there, the quicker you'll be able to find your link to the job that you're looking for. One of the powerful tools within LinkedIn is that it shows you how you are connected to nearly any other person on LinkedIn. So you can search for a specific company or a specific position, and it will bring up people within that company or those types of positions, and it will show you how you're connected to them. It will actually show you who you need to talk to, who your first connection is, and who will be able to then introduce you to that other person. So it will show you up to 3 degrees away if you're connected to anybody in that company, and it will show you how you're connected to them so that you can get the proper introduction to those people. So whether you like it or not, it is who you know. It's just part of the deal. In modern society, people like to hire people that they know. They like to hire people who they trust. In fact, a lot of companies incentivize their own employees to hire people that they know. They encourage their employees to spread the word so they can hire more like-minded people. And so you're going to want to get to know as many people as you can so you can make those connections to the other companies that you're trying to get into as short as possible. Now, one word of caution about LinkedIn and social media in general. I find that in general, there is a lot of noise in the world. There's a lot of noise on social media. You know, if you go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, any of these platforms, you can waste an entire day scrolling through posts. LinkedIn is no different. You can waste an entire day looking at all of the things that people are talking about on there. And if we're just going to treat it like another social platform, then it doesn't really have the meaningful purpose in our lives that LinkedIn as a networking platform can have. So I encourage you to be careful about the time that you spend on there reading mindlessly these different blogs. That's not the purpose of being on there. The purpose is to make sure you have a clean profile so that people can find you, and to connect to people so that you can find meaningful connections. If you use it that way, LinkedIn can be a very powerful tool. Now, LinkedIn isn't the only method for networking. There are a lot of other ways to do it. You can find local companies that you might have an interest in working for. One of the most powerful ways to network actually is through your professors. Did you know that your professors have been teaching that very class for years and years? They have graduated hundreds and hundreds of students who are now out in the working field. And a lot of those students still have ties back to your university. So your professors may be a very important link in your network. I would highly encourage you to talk to your professors and find out who they know in your field. Chances are really good that they know not just one, but many, many people in your field that you could talk to that may have an interest in hiring you, or at least are working in a place that has an interest in hiring somebody like you. So take a minute now and set up a LinkedIn profile. If you've never been on there, take some time and familiarize yourself with that platform. It's a really powerful tool, and we're going to talk about it more in the coming videos.